and I'm happy to be here to do a short Vinyasa Flow with some nice openings for our chest and our hips. You might have been sitting in a chair or just doing some sort of repetitive motion, so this will be a nice practice for you to just really get into your body and feel good. So let's just go ahead and start. If you have a mat, this is a great place to start. If you don't have formal blocks, you might want to bring in either a water bottle or a couple books. If you're on a hardwood floor, you might want a blanket for padding. Not necessary. So whatever you need to get comfortable, go ahead and get that now. We'll get set up, and we're going to start in a standing position. So from this position, just notice the feet on the earth. Bring your hands to your sides and just roll your shoulders back for a couple moments. And as you're doing this, just start to tune into your breath. Let your shoulders come up to your ears and then let them drop down the back. So often we hold so much stress and tension in our shoulders, so it's nice to just let them release here. One more time like that. And then allow yourself to come into stillness, hands by your side, and then tune into your breath. So take a nice deep breath in through the nose, letting it lift all the way to the crown of your head. As you exhale, release the breath. Let your belly come to relaxation and let your feet sink into the earth. Let's take 2 more breaths like that. Inhaling, maybe lengthening the spine, lifting through the crown of your head. As you exhale, release. Let your breath fall into the belly and all the way down to the feet. 1 more breath like this. And then let's go ahead and lift our arms up overhead, reach through the fingertips, step through the toes, and then grab a hold of your left wrist and reach over towards the right. So you can stay like this, or maybe you bring that left leg in front of the right. So making kind of that C curve shape or banana-like shape with your body. Just lengthening through that left side body and feeling a nice stretch to the side. Take a breath. And then let's come back through center. Reach both hands to the sky, root down through the feet, kind of like pedaling your feet on the earth. And then we'll take that right wrist and cross the right leg over, reaching over towards the left. So kind of knitting these ribs to the hips here. Take another breath. So we're going to move through a bit of Vinyasa Flow, and anytime I offer the opportunities to come into a plank, know that you can always bring your knees to the earth or skip it altogether. So it's your practice. Once you've arrived on the mat, that's really the hardest part, and just moving with your breath in a way that feels good for your body is the most important thing. So we're just going to shake our hips here side to side, just get some movement in the hips, maybe hands on the hips. Slow, gentle movements to get our body warmed up. It's going to be about a 30-minute class, just enough to get all parts of the body moving and warmed and feeling flexible. Go the other direction with those hips. And then let's take 1 more breath in together. Inhale, arms up. And then as you exhale, go ahead and fold forward over your legs. I'm going to come to the top of my mat here, and you can do the same. So we're going to come to the top of the mat, that short end of the mat. Bend into the knees nice and deep. Let your neck and head release. Shake it out. No, not a yes. On the inhale, come up halfway. So hands rest on the knees or the shins and find that flat back, lengthening through the spine and the crown of your head. Do that 2 more times. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. 1 more like that. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. This time you're gonna fold forward. Let your neck and head release. And then you're gonna plant those hands on the earth and step back with your right foot. And then find stability and you're gonna drop that right knee to the earth. And again, this might be a good place for padding if you need it. And then on the inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. So let your shoulders relax down your back. If it feels good, press forward into the hip. So that right hip flexor is getting a nice stretch. If there's any discomfort in your low back, you're gonna back out of that. And then we're gonna do that leaning again. So you're gonna grab that left wrist and reach to the right. And then inhale, come through center. Grab that right wrist, reach to the left. Inhale, come through center. As you exhale, sweep those hands to the earth. Step back, come onto hands and knees. As you exhale, lower belly, chest, and chin to the earth, keeping those elbows tight by your ribs. With an inhale, lift up through low cobra. As you exhale, tuck your toes, shift it back, downward facing dog. So always the option to come into your knees here, or maybe a down puppy, which would look like this, on your knees, hips lifted, heart pressing towards your thighs. So that's an alternative to this downward facing dog. If you have any discomfort in the wrists, that might be a better choice. So from here, you're gonna just pedal your heels, let your neck and head release. On the inhale, lift that right leg up. As you exhale, bring that right foot forward between the hands. Find your stability and drop that left knee. Once you feel grounded, lift up. Reach through the fingertips. Again, pressing hips forward if that feels good, or backing out. Or actually, you could also come in and out of that. Moving back, pulling back. Coming forward, pulling back. One more like that. Let's take that right wrist, reach to the left. Inhale, come through center. Grab that left wrist, reach to the right. Inhale, come through center. As you exhale, sweep your hands to the earth. Tuck the left toes and step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Let your neck and head release again. Nice deep bend in the knees, belly to thighs. Let your neck and head release. On the inhale, come up halfway. As you exhale, fold it forward. On the next inhale, let's sweep our arms up or slowly rise. Come through a slight back bend here. Reach through the fingertips. Let's grab that left wrist this time. Reach to the right, and then this time, the left foot's gonna come behind the right. Just notice how that feels. Maybe there's a little bit more wobbly movement here. It's a little different than the first time. One more breath. Come through center. Grab that right wrist, right foot behind. And then reaching to the left as much as it's comfortable. Come back through center, reach through the fingertips. From the top of your mat, you're gonna take a swan dive down, exhale, fold forward. On the inhale, come up halfway, hands to knees or shins, flat back. As you exhale, fold down, plant the hands, let's step back with that left foot. Again, find that grounding and drop the knee. With the inhale, arms up. Reach through your fingertips. Press hips forward, pull hips back. Either way, or moving back and forth if that feels good to your body. This time we're gonna sweep this right arm back. So you're gonna kind of bring that right arm to the left thigh. So it's the opposite arm and leg. Making us think a little bit. And then feeling that left stretch through the left side body. Take one more breath here. As you exhale, sweep your hands to the earth, frame that right foot, step back, come onto hands and knees. As you exhale, lower belly, chest, and chin to the earth. On the inhale, lift up, low cobra. As you exhale, tuck the toes, shift back, downward facing dog, tabletop puppy, or tabletop pose or down puppy. Shake your head out, no. Not a yes. And then with this next inhale, lift that left leg up. Bring that left foot forward to the top of your mat. Dropping the right knee. Find stability and then rise on up. Reach through the fingertips. Lift through the heart. Feel that stretch, and then this time we're gonna sweep that left arm back, and maybe it touches that right leg, or maybe just keep it extended. So you're just finding length. Nice work. Take 2 more breaths here. Breathing in and out. As you exhale, sweep those hands to the earth. Step back, come onto hands and knees. As you exhale, lower belly, chest, and chin to the earth. On the inhale, lift up, low cobra. As you exhale, shift back, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here in down dog. This can be a restorative pose, so you find kind of a little reset. If you like, you can always bring your knees to the earth and come into child's pose. If it feels good and is attainable, you could get that forehead on the earth and just roll the forehead out, grounding the mind, grounding the thoughts, allowing yourself just to let go. Let's take 2 more breaths here wherever we're at. Nice deep breathing. And then on the next breath, come up onto hands and knees. Tuck those toes, shift back, come into a downward facing dog. Let's lift through the tailbone, shake that head out, no, not a yes, and then slowly walk your feet to the top of the mat, coming into, again, that nice deep forward fold. Bend at the knees, let your neck and head release. Let's come up halfway, hands to knees or shins. Exhale, fold it forward. On the inhale, sweep your arms all the way up or just slowly rise through standing. Arms lift up overhead, and then as you exhale, bring your hands to your sides. So we're gonna work on a little balancing and a little flow here. So again, these blocks or that water bottle or sturdy books, if you have them, bring them to the top of your mat. And I'll adjust, but you might wanna stay here at the top of your mat. So we're gonna root down through this left leg. You're gonna bring that right knee up towards your chest. Grab hold of that right knee with both hands. Maybe roll that ankle out. Lift your heart. Let your shoulders roll down your back. So from here, we're gonna move into a tree pose. So let's bring our right knee out to the side, staying here, or dropping the foot. It can come to the ankle, you can drop it on your calf, or you can bring it up to your inner thigh. The only place you don't want to put your foot is right against the knee joint, just so that you don't lock that out and just keeping our joints safe. So from here, you're gonna find your focus, just a focal point in front of you, maybe the earth on the ground in front of you, maybe something on the horizon line. And then you can keep your hands at the heart center, or maybe you wanna lift your arms to the sky. Maybe you wanna flow with the breeze. Maybe you wanna play with that leaning. So just take a few more breaths here wherever you're at. Just, you could also back yourself up against a wall or hold onto a chair, whatever you need to do, but we're focusing on that strength in the core and in the leg to find that stability. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then from here, we're gonna move into a warrior 3. So you're gonna extend that right leg back. This is where your blocks come in. And you're gonna extend that right leg, and the hands can come to the earth, finding that stability, or maybe you wanna bring them up at the heart center again, or bring them out. You can play around with where you want your hands. We'll take a couple more breaths here, finding that balance, that strength in that standing leg. As you exhale, bring that right foot to the earth slowly, and windmill your arms open into a warrior 2. So that left knee is bent, and you're gazing over the left middle finger, coming into that warrior 2. Strong, stable root. Left knee is directly over that ankle, tracking right over. Find your balance, find your focus, and then let's flip those palms, reach it forward, come through a reverse warrior. This right arm comes down to the right side, left arm reaches up and over. Breathe into the left side. Squeeze those ribs on the right side towards the hip. Take one more breath here. Inhale, reach. As you exhale, we're going to bring that left elbow to the left thigh, come through a side angle pose. So then this right arm reaches up and over as if that right bicep's just going to drift by that right ear. And we're not going to dump ourselves into this left elbow. We're going to stay lifted through the heart and find that lengthening through fingertips all the way down to the toes. Take one more breath here. As you exhale, you're going to windmill your hands down to the earth, and you're going to place them to the left, right, on the inside of that left foot. Walk that left foot out to the side, and we're coming into a lizard pose. So this is what that looks like. So your hands are inside that left foot. You can keep that right knee lifted, or you can drop it down. So it's depending on if you want a little bit more active of a stretch, or if you want a little bit more release in that left hip. I like to drop that left knee and let that right knee, and let that left knee drift out to the side. So you can stay on your hands, or if it's comfortable for you, you can come onto your forearms or onto the blocks here. And take a few breaths in this pose. Allow your head and neck to release. Opening up that hip. The front of the right hip, the outside of the left hip. Just notice what you feel and send your breath to those areas. Let's take 2 more breaths here. As you're ready, you're going to plant both hands and then tuck the right toes. Bring that left foot in, and we're going to sweep that left foot back into a 3-legged dog. Lift it up. And then as you exhale, bring that left foot down, coming into a downward facing dog. We're gonna move through that Vinyasa Flow now. So if you'd like, you can skip it, or you can bring your knees to the earth. Otherwise, you're gonna come through that plank pose. Inhale. As you exhale, lower all the way or halfway. With an inhale, you're coming through low cobra, or lifting a little higher into upward dog. As you exhale, tuck your toes, shift it back, downward facing dog. Good. Take a moment here to pedal the heels. You can drop down into child's pose if you'd like. But we're gonna take about 2 to 3 breaths in this restorative pose. And then as you're ready, you're gonna walk your feet to the top of your mat. Come into that nice deep forward fold. On the inhale, come up halfway, hands to knees or shins. As you exhale, fold it forward. Let your neck and head go. Next inhale rises you up to standing. Inhale, arms up overhead. Reach through the fingertips. Exhale, hands come towards heart center. So let's come back into that equal standing pose, just rooting down through the feet. Hands can be at heart center, or you can let them come by your side. Let's just take a moment here to connect with the breath. Notice the earth underneath us. Let the shoulders roll back. Take another breath. And then from here, we're gonna root down through the right leg this time and go through that same flow, leading with the left leg. So let's bring that left knee into the center or up to our chest, maybe rolling the ankle out, finding that stability in the right leg, and noting that both sides are not equal. So one side might feel more balanced than the other, and that's fine. And each day is different, so just noticing that. As you're ready, you're gonna let that left knee drift to the side, and then we'll find our tree pose. So again, you could drop that heel to the ankle here, you could bring the foot to the calf, or you could bring that foot into the inner thigh. You could also use a chair or a bookcase or whatever you might have nearby to find some more stability. And then we're gonna pull up through our center, pull that low belly in. That's gonna strengthen our back and find a little bit more support and stability. Hands can stay at heart center, or maybe they extend to the sky. You can sway. You can feel wobbly, which is totally normal. And you can pull the wrists if that feels good too. Just kind of playing around with what feels best for your body today. Let's take about 2 to 3 more breaths here. And then we're gonna get ready for our warrior 3. So you're extending through the fingertips, keeping that core engaged. As you're ready, let's bring the hands through the heart center and then just extend that left leg back. So hands come to those blocks for a little bit more strength and stability. And you're kind of letting that left hip point to the earth here. Back foot's as if you were gonna step onto a back wall here. So hands to the blocks or those books or a water bottle if you have it, or maybe you're gonna play around with some balance. Hands to heart, extended back or maybe forward. Let's take 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, slowly drop that left heel. Windmill arms open into your warrior 2. So finding that extension, looking over the right middle finger while that right knee just is stacked right over that right heel. Pull the low belly in, find that strength in the back. Breathe, let your shoulders relax. You can flip those palms and that'll help relax them as well. We're gonna reach forward, and then as you exhale, left hand drifts down the back, right arm reaches up and over. Take some nice deep breaths here. 1 more inhale, extending through the fingertips, finding length here on the right side, squeezing the left ribs to the hips. With the exhale, that right arm comes to the right thigh, left arm reaches up and over. Again, that extension from left fingertips all the way down to that left heel. And breathe. Maybe look up, maybe gaze down. Let's take about 2 more breaths here. Nice deep breath in. On the exhale, we're gonna sweep those hands down to the inside of that right foot. And then that right foot kind of takes a little walk to the edge of the mat, both hands onto the earth. So you're either staying here with that lifted left leg, or maybe you're gonna drop deeper for yourself, for your body, whatever you need. Hands can stay on the earth, or maybe this is a good place for the blocks or your books. Forearms to that support, and then again, letting the head and neck release. Nice opening for the hips here. We'll take about 2 to 3 more breaths. Nice deep breathing. Exhaling it out. Let's take 1 more breath like that. And then as you're ready, you're gonna move those blocks out of the way if you're using them. Walk that right foot back in, plant both hands. Let's extend that right leg back. 3-legged dog, maybe a hip circle here to move get some mobility in it. And then we're gonna come through that flow again. So from down dog, you can come into a plank. Always the option to drop your knees here. And then you can exhale all the way or halfway down. With the inhale, lift up through low cobra or up dog, a little higher. Exhale, tuck those toes, shifting it back into downward facing dog. We'll take 2 to 3 breaths here. And then we're gonna come into a child's pose. Bring the knees to the earth. Big toes can touch. Extend those arms forward. Let your head release. Nice, deep breathing. Letting go of the effort. And then as you're ready, we're gonna shift ourselves onto our seat. Have a few moments on the earth before we come into our final resting pose. So make yourself into this M shape, right? So knees are bent, hands are on the knees. Lift through your heart, and then we're gonna come through a boat pose. So arms are gonna extend out here. Legs can be parallel to the earth, or you could also keep your toes or feet on the ground. And then as you're ready, we're just gonna lower ourselves onto the mat. Slowly, one vertebra at a time, feeling that engagement in the core. And then once you arrive here, take a nice big stretch, extending fingertips and toes. Reach, reach, reach. Let yourself stretch out. And then as you exhale, bring those knees into the chest. Allowing yourself to massage the low back. Maybe it feels good to extend the legs up, toes towards you. Feel that stretch through the hamstrings. And then we're going to go ahead and bring the feet onto the mat, knees bent. Lift that right leg up and drop that right ankle onto the left knee, coming into a reclined pigeon. Staying here, or pull that left knee into your chest. We'll take about 3 breaths here. Might feel good to kind of continue to massage the low back. 2 more breaths. And then release that left foot to the earth. Right leg can lift up, maybe stretching it towards you for a moment. And then the right foot comes to the mat, left leg lifts. And then you're going to drop that left ankle to the right knee. Staying here, just opening that right hip, that left hip, or bringing that right knee and hip towards you. And just giving yourself a little back massage, just feeling the stretch through the hips. We'll take about 2 more breaths here. And then release that right foot, extend that left leg. And then you can bring your arms out at a T or cactus arms. Let your knees sway side to side so the feet are on either side of the mat. Just letting the front of the hips find some release here. Take another breath or 2. And then let's bring our knees into our chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Now I invite you to make any last movements you like. Whatever is calling to you, maybe a happy baby, maybe feet together, maybe that's enough. So for our last movement, our last effort, we're gonna pull our knees into our chest. Give yourself a big hug, take a big breath in, inhale. And then as you exhale, release your whole body onto the mat. Let your legs come down, let your arms rest by their sides. And we're coming into our final resting pose, Shavasana, corpse pose. Coming into final stillness. Allowing yourself to take these last few moments, noticing your breath and understanding that this is actually the most important part of the practice. Finding stillness, finding that presence, noticing how the body feels. You're welcome to stay in this Shavasana. Maybe this is the end of the day and you're ready for bed. That'd be a nice way to finish the day, or maybe this is the beginning of your day and you're going to move on with the next thing. Wherever you are in your day, take a moment here on the earth to bring in gratitude for your body and your breath that helped you move through this practice. Gratitude for the land that you're on, and gratitude for the practice of yoga. You can stay on the back, or if you're ready to come up to a seated position, maybe take a gentle stretch, extending fingertips and toes, maybe just rolling to one side, cradling your head in your hands, eventually arriving into your comfortable seat, maybe taking a moment to close the eyes, bring in an intention for your day, whether that's presence or peace or compassion, just bringing that in and letting that be an anchor for you as you move through your day, noticing your breath and letting yourself come back to tune in to each moment. Let's take a nice deep breath in together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Offering gratitude and peace to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. May this practice nourish you and carry you through your day. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoy this, go ahead and like it and subscribe and tune in for more. Thank you so much. Take care.